Alright, so in today's video, I go over the other 4 Chainsaw Man units that released this update, like I said in the previous video, being Power, Reze, Katana Man, and Himeno from the Battle Pass. I would have just done all 8 together, but it took me a little longer to get the Battle Pass done, so I had decided to do it in 2 separate uploads. But I think honestly it's better this way anyway. I give them more time to have their own spotlight. If you enjoy the video and find yourself coming back around for the content, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for games or units, or Roblox games, other units, other games in general you'd want to see me play, leave it down in the comments below and I'll be sure to check them out. Enjoy the video. Alright, first I'm going to show off the cosmetics of Power, Reze, Katana Man, and Himeno. So let's start with Powers. It's not bad. The aura's pretty good. I like that it gives you the faceplate. Again, I think they really should have committed to doing the full morphs for the cosmetics this update. I think it would have worked way better. Let's do Reze next. It gives you the bomb head. Again, not bad visually, but I don't know. Katana Man. This one just doesn't work. Again, on a blockier model, it probably looks a lot better, but I feel like without the outfit, I don't feel like Katana Man works very well. Last, let's look at Himeno. It's just her outfit. It's a little messed up because of my model, but pretty simple. Got the white aura, not bad. All the cosmetics this update are really solid. I'm not going to waste any more time with this. Let's just get straight to the infinite. All right, I'm going to start with, I'm going to go left to right, and then with the Battle Pass unit. I've used everyone here a decent bit except Himeno. I just finished getting her. As you can see, I've got kills on these. I haven't really read a ton of what they do to avoid too many spoilers. I didn't mean to put you over there, oopsie. And I don't know what their animations look like. Let's get power down. Oh yeah, she creates a thing behind herself and launches it. Pretty good. She is hybrid on placement, fire element. Let's read her passive. Every 60 seconds, cycle through the following weapons. Hammer gains cripple plus 120% damage, minus 15% range, plus 30% attack speed. Knife gains mutilate and bleed, minus 50% damage, minus 20% attack speed. Spear gains hemorrhage plus 30% damage, minus 10% range. Scythe gains dismantle plus 5% damage, minus 10% attack speed. She defaults to having bleed before any of her weapons have happened. I realized I should have set these to auto upgrade. We'll just wait around for that. Okay. So I did want to unpause it while she was on hammer. Something I've noticed with power is it on this one especially, it says her cripple does damage over time. This definitely isn't true. A lot of the numbers on her are buggy. And I think in part for me, it's because I have Hex, so it does weird things. Like 3.82 million damage here doesn't make sense. Unless it's calculating the total of all of these. But I don't think that's right either, because this would be 1.2. This would be like roughly a million, and this would be it'd be like 2.8 million total. And now it says 800k, which also doesn't make sense because that's not double. There's definitely some weird stuff with damage numbers on her, so don't trust any images you see. I feel like there's an image on the wiki that has her with like, I think Glitch doing like 1.5 billion damage, and then like all of her forms she's doing billions of DOT. I feel like most of those DOT numbers aren't accurate. I also think with that picture, they have a lot of buffs up. There's definitely something that's not being shown. I do think power is good though. Let's get to her second attack. That's enough. That's enough yap. Okay, so she creates a bunch of orbs around an enemy, and she do a pose. It's actually pretty cool. I've liked the attack animations this update so far. 1000 Blood Rain. Oh. Oh yeah, that's awesome. She is. All of the units are honestly a little bit expensive this update, I will say. She once you get to her active skill, I'll mention what I was about to say. Just hold on to that for now. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna set it back to 3x. Like make money faster. I'll also probably use Bulma's Wish for money. Normally I do damage, but I want to make sure I have lots of cash. So if you do want to evo everybody, it's gonna be a ton of fire essence. I think over 1,000 in total for all of this. Now she's max upgraded, we have her ability, Blood Explosion. Upon activation, it deals 5 times current damage to enemies in range under bleed-related DOTs. Each time an enemy has been under a bleed DOT, increase the damage that enemy will take from this ability by 2 times. Cap of 15 times increase for 20 times damage total. I only don't like this being based off her damage because of this, her damage fluctuates a lot up and down. And it's very good. And it makes her combo very well with Denji, who does the full AoE rupture plus, you know, whatever other bleed DOTs he's on. It makes them combo very, very well together. I'll check if it has an animation. Blood Explosion. No animation. Yeah, I mean, I think she's very good. I think, unfortunately, of the fire units that we've gotten, because we got Makima, her, Reze, and Katana Man, I don't think she's the best. I think obviously Makima's the best. I think Reze's pretty good too. Let's get to her now. I think I'm gonna move. Reze doesn't. I don't remember what Reze's range looks like. I just know on placement it's not great. Let's see her basic attack. Runs forward, explodes. Come on. She just dashes forward and blows them up. If you haven't seen what new detonation does, they did update it. It deals 0.1 times damage and increases tick damage by 0.05 every tick for 9 ticks. On the 10th tick, it deals 1.5 times bonus damage for a total of 4.2 times damage. I don't know why it doesn't just do a flat 4.2 times. I don't know why they did this complicated tick over time thing. It's a little weird. She does start with 2 passives though. Each attack has a 20% chance to apply Unstable for 15 seconds. Title Unstable Demon. I gotta get better about reading these passive names. Unstable causes 25% of this unit's damage to be dealt to enemies in a 15 range radius upon an enemy's death. This, I really wish it wasn't a chance. I just wish if they had Unstable, you killed an enemy with it. Or, wait, no, it is guaranteed. I'm sorry. It's not a chance. That's a percentage of her damage that it does to them in that range, which can set off chain reactions, especially considering, well, you'll see her damage. For each enemy under the unstable effect within range, gain plus 0.5% damage, cap of 15%. This is a weird one. It's good though, because again, she stacks damage. Every 25 takedowns, inflict unstable on all enemies in range for 25 seconds. This is also super good. It feeds into itself. So let's get to our next attack, Detonation Spark. So she just throws a explosive ball forward. Yeah. Nothing super complicated. Cluster Charge. Okay, and that is her final attack. I think Reze should have been an ultimate, not power. I'll be honest. I feel like because she's a celestial, not an ultimate, they held back on what they could do with her. I think Reze could have been a super, super interesting unit. Not that I think she's bad, but I think you can kind of see some glaring problems with her stuff. In all fairness, because of her high tick damage on this, it's, 4.2 times 4 million is, we're talking, like roughly 1.6 million damage. Actually a little over that. Obviously, if you have Glorious, it's going to be higher. You have Glitch, this is going to be higher. I think she is very good. And Self-Destruct, her active skill. Upon activation, start a 10-second timer. Once this 10 seconds ends, it deals 100 times damage and apply Detonate off this multiplier. I believe it'd be 40 billion damage, and then multiply that by 4 for the detonate. So 160 billion detonate damage. For every enemy in range, increase multiplier of nuke damage by 1 times cap of 500 billion total damage. So if you can't, I don't think you can actually hit 500 billion total damage without a lot of buffs. Well, actually, the multiplier is infinite. Well, you can only have 100 enemies on screen, which means the most you can get it to is a 200 times multiplier, which would get it to 80 billion damage. And then you can multiply that by 4 for the detonate. 80 times 80, 160, 240, 320, 320 billion detonate. And then enemies who survive have unstable applied to them for 60 seconds. I think part of what unstable needs to do is either make a detonate do more damage or make a detonate tick faster. Well, I guess that wouldn't work, except for every 10 ticks. I guess instead of removing the number of ticks, it just doubles the tick speed. And then they could have done something where they have her attack speed be lower. Because her attack speed is so high just to make her detonate work properly. She is good under Makima buff, though, because they can see her attack speed is faster than the 10-second tick. You put Makima domination on her, she'll get damage plus reduced attack speed, which will put her closer to this 10-second threshold. I don't think she's bad at all. I do really think she does a crazy amount of damage. I think there were some little pieces here and there they held back on because she's a Celestial, not an ultimate. I'd argue she should be full AoE. She's the Bomb Devil. It would make sense. I think there's plenty of stuff that she did that could be, they could have done it. And it would have made the detonate and the slow attack speed work a lot better. But, that's it for Reze. Let's get to Katana Man. He's a lot simpler. Maybe the simplest unit this update. Which is, again, kind of unfortunate, but also, Katana Man's not that important from what I remember. Series of slashes, okay, I'll watch him do it again. Even his animations are pretty simple in comparison to other things. X slam, well, he did his other attack again. He has bleed, as you can see. Does it look better on 3 times? Oh yeah. These are animations designed for 3 times. Look way better on that. I'll put it back on 1 times and then a lunging slash. Oh, this is the move that he spams against Denji, I guarantee it. Yeah. Again, this is definitely another move designed for 3x. Yeah, you can see him hit the pose. Yeah, his animations definitely look way better on 3 times speed. I'm surprised they accounted for that. So you can see, I didn't have Glorious when I was using him earlier. I got that pretty much when I got her. So that worked out. 579 damage, decent stats overall. He's not as skill treed as these other two. But he only has 1 passive, really only does 1 thing. The Katana Demon. The Katana Demon's bleed is stronger than normal bleed, dealing 1.7 times damage over 6 seconds instead of 1.4 times. Each time he attacks, increase DOT damage by 5%, cap of 25%. So it gets to like, 1.7 times, plus a 25% bonus multiplier. So it's like 1.95. I think that's how the math works out. I don't know for certain. If he attacks an enemy under a source of bleed, he also inflicts hemorrhage. This is interesting because I don't think you can make him attack fast enough for him to meet the criteria for this himself. So you'd have to be running somebody else who applies a source of bleed, which you probably will be, considering this update. You might be running Denji, you could be running Power. If you run Makima and get the fire domination, Makima would have bleed, so that would allow that to happen as well. But I mean, he's a relatively simple unit. I think he is pretty good, especially for a fire unit. I don't think any of the units from this update are bad. I don't know about Himeno that much. I did read her passes before hopping in here, but I don't exactly understand. Okay. Let's... I gotta see your animation a little better. Yeah, let's see. Oh, you can kind of see the ghost hand. Hold on. Because I think that's what's happening here. It's summoning the ghost hand, and then it's... Yeah. It's a little hard to see because of all the green effects. Oh, she only has 2 attacks. Let's look at her damage. I would say she has 4,200 to place. That's a lot of damage in one upgrade, though. Oh yeah, her stats just climb. Attack speed goes up, but her damage doubles. She might be another good water unit for people to use. We've kind of been needing one. New attack, Suffocating Palms. Is that just the same animation repeated a couple of times? That's kind of what it looked like. Yeah, I think it's the same. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. You can see what one of her passives does. I'll read those in just a moment. I wanted to see what her max damage was. That's honestly not bad, especially considering she's not the most expensive. And she is hybrid all the way through. Did Katana Man become hybrid? I didn't look at that. He does become hybrid. I should check which upgrade that is. It's X Slam. So upgrade 5, Katana Man gets hybrid. Almost every other unit this update is hybrid on placement. So basically only Katana Man and Aki are not hybrid on placement. So that's something to keep in mind. So her passives. Ghost Contract. Each enemy killed by this unit has a 25% chance to be revived as a ghost. The ghost's health is equal to 5 times this unit's current damage, plus 5% of the enemy's max HP. On contact, the ghost stuns the enemy for 5 seconds and applies Cripple. So, all of these summons here will stun enemies for 5 seconds and apply Cripple. Or stun that specific enemy. I think maybe they should have made these a little explosive, given them like a 5 range or something. Ghost Link. When any summon dies, this unit's damage increases by 2% for 30 seconds, cap of 15%. This is going to be a pretty negligible buff. I don't know if they should have increased the cap here or really how they should have done this, but maybe it should have also increased attack speed or something. It's not bad though. An extra 15% damage is an extra 15% damage, so not a whole lot to complain about there. And her last passive, Spiritual Pressure. If the total number of summons is greater than 30, this unit gains pressure. And you can see that over here. I believe she doesn't have a summon cap. I think most units do. That they have a limited number of units they can summon. And it's usually not like mentioned. Oh, maybe she hit the cap. I actually don't know where they spawn from. Oh, no, they spawn. Yeah, no, she's still spawning them. I feel like with other units, there's a max cap. I gotta sneeze. But I feel like with her, she doesn't, because a lot of her passives, one of her passives relies on 30 being summoned. I don't think she's bad. It's a water unit, which we did need one, at least. And she does seem pretty solid stat-wise. I only have defense on her. I believe her weakest stat looked like her range. I mean, I feel like you can kind of see that here. 71.1 with having defense on is pretty low, all things considered. But her damage and attack speed are pretty solid. I don't know. I wish she did a little more, but also she's a battle pass unit, so I kind of get holding back on that. All these units are great. I think Reze is a bit disappointing to me because I was expecting her to be an ultimate. I think there was more they could have done with the Bomb Demon unit for this. I like that they reworked Detonate. I like that they gave her a unique thing. I just think they didn't follow through. I realize I don't think I showed Reze's active skill. This one I know has an animation. So let me self-destruct. It sets the timer. I'm gonna leave it on 1x so that we can watch the animation properly. I'm gonna zoom the camera out if I remember what it is right. Yeah, pretty solid animation. That's the last units for this update. As I said, I think all these units are great. I think the weakest links out of this update are for sure Katana Man and Aki. But I don't think either of them, I don't think they're bad either. Aki is really technical, so I might be not understanding something he does. He was far too complicated. It's kind of a headache reading everything he does. On the other hand, Katana Man is just very simple. But because so many units have bleed DOTs with this update, he has a lot of pairs you can put him with. He might be a good progressive mode fire unit. He might be a good cavern unit. I think all of these units will be semi-decent. I don't know what the tier list is going to look like after this. I know, Denji and Makima are going to go up there. I think Power will probably go up there. Reze might. I do think her DPS potential is really high. I could also see next patch we get some buffs for these units. Not all of them, obviously, but I think I could see Reze getting a buff, adjusting some of the way her things work. I could also be completely wrong. All right, and that's everything for this video. I greatly appreciate you making it to the end. If you've enjoyed the video, as I said at the beginning, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Comment anything interesting down below. I'll definitely keep uploading this game. I'm gonna keep trying to broaden what I do, but honestly, doing the recording, the editing, and the thumbnail making all by myself is a bit of a lengthy process. So I have throttling what I've been playing for right now. If you have anything you really want to see, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll make sure to get around to that. This, as much as this is for me, this also is for the people watching. So it is important that I do what you guys want to see, as well as doing what I want to play. Thank you for watching.